For centuries, travelers whispered about a kingdom so powerful that entire nations paid tribute just to avoid its wrath. Hidden behind towering mountains and endless deserts, this empire controlled the world's richest trade routes and vanished so completely that many historians once believed it never existed at all. At its peak, the kingdom's armies moved like shadows across the horizon. Cities burned overnight. Merchant caravans disappeared without warning. Its rulers built massive fortresses from black stone, guarded by warriors who never removed their armor in public. To outsiders, the kingdom felt less like a nation and more like a nightmare spreading across continents. Then came the silence. One year, the empire dominated international trade. The next, its borders collapsed into chaos. Entire towns were abandoned. Royal archives vanished. Survivors spoke of betrayal, famine, and a terrifying enemy advancing from the east. But no one could explain how one of history's strongest kingdoms disappeared so quickly. Archaeologists later uncovered shattered temples buried beneath the sand. They found weapons stacked beside unfinished walls, as if the people had fled in the middle of battle. Ancient writings described desperate final days, smoke covering the sky, and leaders ordering civilians to escape before the gates fell forever. What made the kingdom truly feared wasn't only its military power, it was the mystery surrounding its rulers. Foreign diplomats rarely saw their faces. Ceremonies happened behind giant curtains of silk and firelight. Some believed the royal family used fear itself as a weapon, carefully crafting legends to terrify enemies before war even began. As neighboring empires grew weaker, this forgotten kingdom became richer than anyone imagined. Gold flooded its markets. Rare spices crossed its ports. Massive walls stretched across cliffs overlooking deadly valleys. Yet beneath the wealth, tension was growing. Rival generals fought for influence, trade routes became unstable, and whispers of rebellion spread through the capital. Then the invasion began. Witnesses described endless columns of enemy soldiers moving through the mountains during violent winter storms. Villages were crushed in days. Refugees flooded toward the capital, while the kingdom's rulers desperately prepared their final defense. Inside the royal fortress, panic replaced confidence. Supplies ran low. Fires burned through crowded districts. Priests warned that ancient prophecies were coming true. Still, the rulers refused surrender. They believed the capital's walls were impossible to break. They were wrong. One night, under freezing rain and thunder, enemy forces breached the outer gates. Chaos erupted through the streets. Citizens ran through smoke-filled alleys, while soldiers fought hand-to-hand beneath collapsing towers. By sunrise, the kingdom that once terrified the world had fallen. But the strangest part came afterward. The conquerors erased almost everything. Records disappeared, statues were destroyed, maps were rewritten. Within generations, the forgotten kingdom became little more than rumor. And yet, buried beneath ruined cities and silent deserts, traces still remain. Broken crowns, burned manuscripts, hidden tunnels beneath ancient stone. Evidence that one of history's most feared kingdoms was real and far more powerful than the world ever realized.